From the Detroit Free Press, it's Wednesday, July 29th. Here are today's top stories.
Brought to you by JB's Smokehouse, located inside Bush's Fresh Food Market of Canton. JB's offers a range of authentic barbecue favorites, and with more than 30 Michigan craft beers on tap, trivia, and live music every Friday night, JB's is sure to become your new favorite barbecue spot.
For the Detroit Free Press, I am Kerry Jr. The State Health Department reports 669 new cases and 16 new deaths. 11 deaths were uncovered in a review of death certificates. In total, there are over 79,000 cases and over 6,100 deaths statewide. Governor Gretchen Whitmer addressed the federal government at her press conference Tuesday. She commended President Trump's tweet saying that wearing a face mask is patriotic, but called for a national mandate.
I applaud his statement and urge him to embrace a nationwide mask order.
Whitmer also addressed the stimulus bill proposed by the Republican-led Senate. She criticized the plan for requiring schools to reopen to receive funding. The governor says reopening decisions must be made based on the science. Governor Whitmer has requested federal aid to close Michigan's $3 billion hole in the budget for the new fiscal year, which begins in October. The GOP stimulus plan doesn't include the funding. Whitmer says the Senate's decision to leave the assistance out is a result of partisanship. She called on federal leaders to work together.
In this moment, it's more important than ever that we have leaders that are not going to be tethered to political parties, but are going to be tethered to getting this done for the people of this country.
Republican Congressman Paul Mitchell from Michigan responded to the governor. He said it's not the duty of the federal government to balance state budgets. Mitchell says some of the dollars lost in tax revenue was a result of Whitmer's shutdown orders. Scientists are closer to finding a vaccine for the coronavirus, and Henry Ford Health Systems is a crucial part of the next phase. The hospital system is looking for 5,000 volunteers to participate in Phase 3 of the clinical trial. Phase 2 showed the vaccine produced antibodies. Phase 3 will determine whether the vaccine prevents COVID-19 in people once exposed to the virus. Researchers won't initially expose volunteers to COVID-19. They expect participants to become infected through everyday exposure. Volunteers will receive $1,000 for completing the 2-year study. According to the Division Chief of Infectious Disease for Henry Ford Health, participants could get their first shots of the vaccine this week or early next week. Bobcat Bonnie's in Ferndale reopened Tuesday after closing over the weekend when one employee tested positive for COVID-19. The restaurant was shut down for a deep clean. The owner said the staff member who tested positive was isolated and would have had little contact with customers or other employees. The restaurant is now paying for all employees to get tested according to the owner. 75% of their employees have been tested, and all have tested negative. That's the latest. For more information on COVID-19 in Michigan, visit www.freep.com.
I'm Frank Witzel with the Detroit Free Press. Responding to a call about a fire, Troy police officers found a gory scene. A naked 31-year-old man was covered in blood and screaming after he broke into a neighboring apartment with a rifle and a large kitchen knife. He apparently tried to set the place on fire. Officers had followed a trail of blood that led them to Alexander Raymond, who was cut and in another apartment. At first, he told police he was going to come out on his own, but then he locked the door. Officers forced their way in and tasered the man twice. Then they took the man to Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak for treatment. He was charged with third-degree home invasion, fifth-degree arson, and 3 counts of resisting a police officer. His bond for release was set at $100,000. It's an unusual situation, police said, with no explanation why it happened. Perhaps, police said, Raymond was high or suffering from mental illness.
This is Free Press editorial page editor Brian Dickerson. Michigan's August 4th primary election is less than a week away. But not to worry. The Detroit Free Press Voter Guide has all the information you need to cast an informed vote. Just steer your web browser to freep.com/primary voter guide, enter your address, and you'll see a list of all the candidates who will appear on your ballot. Then click on any candidate's name to see how they answered our questions about the issues that matter most to you. Make your choice in each race, then save or print your choices and take them with you when you vote or fill out your absentee ballot. Because democracy, as they say, is not a spectator sport.
This is Omari Sankofa II with the Detroit Free Press. Almost exactly a month ago, Michigan State landed Imani Bates, the top-rated high school basketball player in the country. Now, the Spartans have added another 5-star recruit to their 2022 class. Enoch Boakye, a 6'10", 240-pound junior and number 1 ranked player in Canada, announced his commitment on Instagram Live on Tuesday. Boakye is the number 18 player in the 2022 class and was widely projected by analysts to commit to MSU. He averaged 13 points, 14 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game during his sophomore season at George Harris Prep. He describes himself as a high-motor player who can protect the rim, rebound, save possessions, and do whatever it takes to win. Both Bates and Boakye could be classified to 2021, which could potentially make for Tom Izzo's best recruiting class. Boakye said he wants to team up with Bates and bring a national championship to Michigan State. If they reclassify, that 2021 class could be talented enough to do it. Boakye adds to what has been a hot recruiting month for Izzo. Max Christie, the number 1 shooting guard in the 2021 class and the 13th ranked player in the country, committed to Michigan State a week after Bates. And 2021 4-star guard Pierre Brooks committed in April.
For more stories from the Detroit Free Press, be sure to check out freep.com. That's FREEP.com. If you're a fan and want to support our quality local journalism, subscribe. Go to freep.com/special offer.